Hello, everyone. I forgot to film an intro. I'm such an amateur, I know. I'll be showing you how I think I got into Cornell, what I did in high school, and what I did on the Common App. So a lot of y'all have been putting in the comments. By the way, I'm very flattered. Leah, how did you do this? How did you get into Cornell? I mean, here's my answer. I don't fucking know. I'm not the admissions officer. But what I can do is show you what the fuck I did in high school. Anyways, I'm getting a little tired here. It's very late here in Ithaca, New York. Fuck. I just realized you can see my my clothes in the background.
Bruh.
I hope you enjoy. Is it recording? We got the notes. So here is the Common App that I wrote almost 3 years ago now. So I'm going to be splitting this into two parts. One, general advice, how to prep during high school, and the second part being specifically about what the hell I put on my Common App. Alright, so onto the general part. The first thing you want to do is show your passion. What I've noticed typically is that the people who get into the top 20 schools are the ones who have a solid picture of what they want to do, or their activities are very much towards an end goal. So for example, my passion was business. So during high school, I explored a lot of different business classes. Marketing, accounting. You should be finding opportunities online. For example, you could even get an internship, and believe me, as a high school student, a lot of people are willing to hire you. You just gotta look for those opportunities. You can literally right now Google like high school internships near me. Probably be a little more specific if you want to get into research, do something related to research. That's how I found this one opportunity that really helped me figure out what I wanted to do, which was like build my own business and all that. So I went to this thing called LaunchX, which is LaunchX is just a program where a bunch of high school students are lumped together and they have to create a business idea and plan, and by the end have a MVP, which is kind of like a one step below the prototype stage of any startup. As for the second piece of advice, I would say talk to students. And by students, I mean at your school about like what they plan to do when they graduate, and also college students who you may not know now, but you'd be surprised by the amount of people who are willing to talk to you if you just reach out. So even in high school, I would highly recommend you create a LinkedIn profile and kind of make it a little more legit. Put a profile picture, put relevant experience on there so people don't think you're a bot. And just like reach out to people, because you never know. Some other good people to talk to include like high school teachers, college faculty, friends, and even your parents or your parents' friends, because a lot of companies are trying to look for high school students for their high school specific programs. I know for one, like Google has a high school program, Cornell has a program for high school students to spend a couple weeks during the summer to just study and hang out and have fun. Lastly, if you don't want to do any of these things, you can just use the time you have in high school to just explore and get to know yourself better. Travel the world if you can. For example, again, it's all about Googling these opportunities, because if you seek out opportunities, you will find them. There's fully funded study abroad program that high school students can go to called I believe it's like NSLIY, something like that. And basically you just spend some time abroad and get fully immersed in a different country and learn the language properly. Of course, those experiences you can put into your college application. You can also use this time to just develop hobbies. Basically, you want to use this time to get to know yourself so well that you can articulate it concisely to someone else. Lastly, visit different schools. Get a feel for campus life at different universities. Of course, this is only if you can do that. Eat at the school cafe, cafeteria, join a tour group, or crash in on a lecture, just to get a feel of the student culture and whether or not you would vibe. Also, when I say you shouldn't be afraid to reach out to people, I really mean it. Like, I still use this skill all the time. Literally yesterday, I was emailing a program coordinator about getting an extension on this internship that I'm doing, and they made it seem like there were very, very set deadlines. And quite frankly, I am piled with work with summer school right now, and I just could not keep up with my internship work. And they gave me an extension. So don't be afraid to reach out to people. All right, now the section everyone's been waiting for, the Common App specific section. So I got my Common App here, I printed it out. It's, fall 2020 or 2019? I'm pretty sure I wrote this in 2019. I'm not quite sure. So for the activities section, I would highly recommend writing out your activities like you would in a resume. I know a lot of high school students, I know I, for one, never really had an actual resume in high school. So what I mean is short, concise phrases, not complete sentences with a lot of numbers, stats that quantify your achievements, if you know what I mean. Okay, so for example, I put, oh my god, I don't really know if I want to share this. It's not embarrassing, I guess. This is ages ago. So for example, here's one of the activities that I did. I said I was the co-founder of Blueberry Boards, and that was just a startup that I worked on actually through that summer program that I randomly found online. You see how everything kind of snowballs? You find an opportunity, which leads to another opportunity. Yeah. So even the first word, co-founded, you automatically know that it's not going to be a full sentence. I'm listing exactly what I did. Have a lot of action verbs, especially at the start of your phrase. Also, add anything very notable. For example, I wrote that my team launched on Kickstarter. I also stated the results of launching on Kickstarter, which was raising more than $2,000. Another really good one is the Eat Local campaign that I co-founded. And again, the action verb is first. And my first phrase was literally just, what the heck? What was the point? To provide 10% discounts for high school students. There you go. And everything else is just kind of the achievements. All these restaurants saw that their revenue was increasing. At the end, it was endorsed by the Chamber of Commerce. Another one that I had was a YouTube channel that I created. I am not gonna be posting or sharing what the hell that YouTube channel was, because that's just embarrassing. And I do not want to associate that channel with what I have now. Again, the results, the subscribers, the income, the whatever views, anyways. And another thing I put was Launch X, which was the summer program I was talking about. So I kind of had two activities, the startup and the program. Kind of double dipped here. I hope you have a better idea of how to write more information in less characters for your activities. But that's just what I did, and make sure to put your most notable activities first and then the rest later. Other activities I had included the DECA Club that I was president of. I was also a freelance tutor, a tennis player, and a part of this teen council at my public library. So yeah, you can see that a lot of the weaker activities I put on the back because they did not need to see the light of day, but I still put them on there because whatever. So here's an example of one of the weak ones I had. You couldn't really quantify what I was doing because there was literally nothing to quantify, but I tried. Okay, on to essays. My number one tip is to not act like a victim. That's very cliche. And well, unless you were actually a victim of something, you almost got burned alive or whatever, and you conquered that whatever. Like, if you're David Goggins, please write about it, because I would love to learn about how you went from rock bottom and became one of the most inspirational people in the world. I mean, if you're like me, you're just an average person, just literally write about yourself. There are literally so many prompts. So you can literally write about anything you want. The whole purpose of that essay is just to show more of you to the admissions officers. So for my own personal essay, I wrote about my audition for SM Entertainment and JYP Entertainment, because back in the day I was quite into K-pop. I kind of just talked about how warped the industry was and how it affected me, and how I started my own YouTube channel to kind of boost my confidence again. Anyways, yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna be sharing that essay, but what I will do is share a recent essay that I wrote, so I'll share that down below. But if you follow along, one tip I have with personal essays is you want to go from a very general topic to very specific, and then very general again. So in my example, the general point was about adulthood or becoming more independent, and my specific point was me going on my surf trip alone, and how like it's just a continuous journey of fuck-ups. And yeah, so that's a personal essay. You basically just want to analyze your experiences in some way, shape, or form. And the easiest way to do that is just to pick a very general idea and picking pieces of your life that really describe that idea. The next thing you want to do with your essay is to write it, draft it, whatever, and then put it in a jar and never see it again. Wait a couple days or so, because the best way to revise is to just not look at your piece and then looking at it again with fresh eyes to see how ass you were writing before. Also, start your essays early. I started at the start of August. All right, on to stats. So on my Common App, I put a couple of exams here. I took 2 SAT subject tests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 AP subject tests. The SAT, I got a 1490, first time, getting perfect on math and whatever the remaining score is for English. You can do the math there. And the second time, I also got 1490, but yeah, I don't remember what the score was, but it was definitely not 800 on math the next time. As for AP scores, yes, AP exams are very important, but not because it's for admissions. It's because AP scores can help you graduate early once you're in college, or skip introductory classes that are very hard. Don't beat yourself up if you can't score well enough on some standardized test. Just try to get the median SAT score at whatever school you want to go to. And by the way, if you do want to score better on your SAT exam, feel free to watch the video I made about increasing your SAT score right after you watch this video. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. In summary, AP scores are important because you can use them as credits at whatever college you go to, but don't beat yourself up if you don't get a high score on AP zoology, okay? Like, it's not the end of the world. Another interesting point is whether or not you should be applying early decision. I personally think that I made the wrong decision by EDing a UPenn. You see, I didn't really take the advice that I'm giving you now, which was really explore what I wanted to do. I really thought that I wanted to be like in business, but I also had this half-baked dream to be a clinical psychologist or doctor or whatever. So I applied as a psych major to UPenn, and I mean, of course, none of my activities show that I liked psychology in any way. So you really want to explore yourself more, figure out whether or not EDing is the right decision for you. Another thing that I did wrong was my essays were not ready at all, but I decided to submit because I was like, maybe I'll get in. Your essays are probably the most important thing that these admissions officers will see. Don't ED if your essays are actually ass, and apply to the program that you actually want to go to. So I hope that was helpful, and just some ending notes here. I actually went to the University of Michigan and studied at the Ross School of Business my freshman year, and quite frankly, like, transferring from UMich to Cornell, absolutely no difference in career prospects. The only thing different is the people. The school culture, of course. I personally think that UMich is a lot more entrepreneurial. If you literally just want to go get into industry, there's no difference. This is just from like personal experience. I think that any school in the top 30 are basically equivalent to the Ivy League in terms of career prospects. Also, college is not the end goal here. Your life is so much more than the next 4 years that you have at university. So really think about what you want to achieve after you graduate and how you can use the resources at your school to help you achieve that goal. So really explore and get to know yourself. Good luck, start early, and I hope you get into your dream school.